Welcome to Monkey See,
Monkey Review.
where this week we're going to be covering The Bad Batch, episode 11, The Devil's Deal. So, okay, give us our spoilers before I get in trouble.
All right, so if you haven't seen this episode, go watch it now because spoilers will commence now.
Dude, okay, for real. What did you think?
I liked it
Yeah,
more so because of the tie out to Rebels
yes,
in this episode.
yeah. So,
Love seeing Chopper again. I almost texted you when I saw Chopper, like, Chopper!
dude, I was the same way. Like, because like the first thing you see of him is his little antenna like peeking over, and I was just like, "Are they about to introduce Chopper? It's Chopper!" So I was like so stoked over just the fact that it was like, "It's Chopper."
Yep.
Oh, there's Hera. So huge moment for all of us Rebels fans. Which, by the way, let me tell you right now, if you were sleeping on Rebels, you're missing out. Rebels is by far one of the best series they've ever done.
Yeah, one of the best story arcs from start to finish
Yes.
that they've done,
I'll-
period.
I'll say it was even more consistent with just amazingness than the entire run of Clone Wars.
Yes. Because, they stuck to a main group of people for the entire series as
Yes.
a whole. So it was just phenomenal.
Yeah, you had your cast. You had Chopper, which is like 19 years in the future
Yep.
than where we're at right now. Well, actually, it wasn't even that far. It was 13 years. 13 years in the future. So Hera's grown up. You meet her as a young girl in this. I would say she's probably 10, 11, 12, somewhere in that range. I would
Probably,
think
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
So you get to see her as a youth. You get to see her parents. Now, we met her dad in the Clone Wars. I don't think we met her mother, though, in the Clone Wars.
I don't think so.
I don't remember her. I think they were more of a rebel cell, a guerrilla warfare against the separatists. So we didn't get to see a lot of the family dynamic in that situation. But by far, one of the greatest tie-ins to an already established series that we've gotten.
Yeah.
Very Empire heavy. Very Empire heavy. You get to see the actual Ryloth and the system of Ryloth turning over to the Empire. Yeah, like so that was really exciting to me because I love the Twi'leks. I've always loved the Twi'leks. They're amazing. They're awesome. Ever since the dancing girl in Jabba's palace.
Yep.
Hera and Bib Fortune, man. Like I was just like, I love these characters. I like this species. And then when you get into other series and you find out they're multiple colors, multiple designs. Yeah, so that's just my nerd moment for that. Like I've loved the species forever.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting to see Hera's father actually being the one who kind of helps come in and bring the Empire in.
Yeah, he's tired of fighting at this
Yeah.
point, and he wants peace. That's what we've been fighting for this whole time, thinking that the Empire is
Yeah.
going to be that peacekeeper that they're saying they're going to be, right?
Right.
And then, at the end of the episode,
Yeah.
he knows that it's not the case.
Yeah, like they've come in promising them jobs, promising them security, promising them that they're going to be able to help to create a better life
And
after
be
the Clone Wars.
non-military establishment.
Yeah, that was their original promise to them.
Non-military establishment.
Yeah, and then halfway through it, we find out, hey, this is a very much a big military move on their part, on the Empire's part. Not much from the Bad Batch in this episode.
No, but they did make a slight appearance in there, which
Yeah,
I was excited about.
yeah.
Now, had they known that Crosshairs was on the planet below, may have been a different story.
I agree. So Crosshairs is like playing right hand to the general from the Empire, and Owen Fritar is the senator, the very robust. He has 4 Leku, which are what their head tails are called. So he has 4 Leku. So in blue, if you've seen him, you've seen him. You may not know him. Google him. You'll be like, oh yeah, that jerk.
Yep.
So he is like extremely prejudiced towards General Centaura or Syndulla.
Yep.
So he's like, no, like I don't want him in charge. I don't want Syndulla anywhere near this. He's planning a rebellion, but he wasn't. He really was trying to go for peace.
Not until the Empire steps in and
Yeah,
arrests his daughter.
yeah,
Now she's being a kid,
yeah.
being curious.
Hanging out with her bad influence uncle.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, bad uncles.
Bad uncles, man.
Yeah.
Gotta
So-
watch them.
Which, what I thought was interesting about this episode was, the Empire's trying to be peacekeepers,
Right.
right? But then in the background, of course, the Empire's being the Empire. Crosshair's doing his thing, which still on point.
Crosshairs is
Playing his role to perfection.
You noticed the scarring?
I did not.
He had a burn patch on the side of his head from where he passed out in that episode and laid down. You could actually hear it sizzle. I went back and checked it.
Oh.
So we have a little scarring going on.
So, but probably my favorite thing about this episode was actually the clone commander and how he knew
Yes.
the people
Yes.
and he felt for them. So he's still following orders, but you could tell that he didn't agree with it.
Yeah.
And that's part of, the clones wanted to be a good influence in the galaxy. And now they're being told to do other things, right?
Which, sticking with that for a second, really made me wonder, because there were no Jedi on Ryloth
If they actually
in that
followed.
situation, did the Order 66 affect them in the same way, or by chance did he even get that order?
Well, I
Because
think-
he acted completely different than any other clones we've seen so far, other than the Bad Batch.
Well, they say, some clones were immune to it. It was a
Yeah.
rarity. But I think that, they said in the first episode that order was repeated on all comm channels. So everyone got the order.
Okay, that's true.
So everyone got the order that was listening to the
Right.
clone
Yeah,
comms.
everybody was in on the
Yeah. So it
broadcast.
was just, we saw the difference between the Bad Batch and normal regs, that they enacted that instantly with, the Bad Batch were like, okay, what's Order 66? Because I don't know what that is.
Here's something else. I'm just thinking about the episode right now as we're talking about it. He's the only clone we have seen
Still wearing his
still
color.
wearing his colors.
Yep.
Everybody else went back to the regular white
Yep.
stormtrooper colors, but he has kept his shoulder pad and his color scheme.
Yeah, I think, like you said, he may be immune to it. Maybe one of the rare clones that it's
Yeah.
immune to. And he's still following orders because that's what good soldiers do. And
Right.
he doesn't know the full extent of the Empire's
Yeah.
deceit.
Yeah.
So I thought it was interesting. I picked up on that pretty quick. Like, okay,
Yeah.
he's different. Like you said, he's acting differently, almost like a normal clone would.
Yes.
And he's probably been there with them throughout the entirety of the Clone Wars.
I think he was. I know Rex and Anakin and Ahsoka came to help train them in the beginning in Clone Wars. Now, he might have been the one that they left there to help.
In charge.
In
Of
charge.
the clone army there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that would be.
Be
That's
cool
a-
nod out.
That's a story I want to hear.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. So essentially, what happens is Hera hanging out with her bad influence uncle, who is not feeling the Empire at all. He's like, this is just, they're trying to disarm us. They're trying to come in and subjugate us.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a slow process, but watch, this is what's going to happen. Turns out he was right.
The entire time.
And he knew it, so he had actually already made a call to Sid to have some weapons delivered. That's where we get our, pretty much our brief momentary nod out to the Bad Batch.
Which, Omega's sitting there like, I'm watching you,
Yeah,
and
which that tells you right there she won the game last week.
yep.
So she's
Yeah.
back on the mission.
Which, you still gotta wonder, did Hunter let her win?
Yeah.
He wants her on there regardless. But he wants her to feel like,
I
you know,
I wouldn't. I think the first game, probably not. He probably just went all in. After that, he was like, okay, we'll see what really happens here.
Yeah.
But so we know he won last week, so therefore Omega's back on missions with them, and they get off the ship carrying the explosives and the rifles and things like that, and then Omega's left sitting on the ship. She's on the steps, watching the situation, and then Hera comes over and actually starts talking to her, so they have a little connection there, which is always fun.
which I'm hoping that they build on that a little bit,
Yeah.
right? Because they're about the same age,
Yes.
and maybe they can connect up and build on that
Yeah.
a little bit more in the future.
I hope so. I'm really curious because the way this episode ended, it really ended just like abruptly.
It's kind of like the Clone Wars series where you have a start of a story arc, but then
Yes.
they go to something else for a little bit, and
Yeah.
return back over here.
Which I'm not gonna lie, I kind of miss that about the Clone Wars. Do you miss that?
A little bit.
I miss the bigger overall arcs that the Clone Wars gave us, but I'm not complaining. I'm really happy.
11 episodes in. That's why I feel like the last couple episodes is kind of building into that universe where they're developing the story as a whole and starting to branch out
Right.
a little bit and start building the universe as it is now in this time period.
Right.
So hopefully we'll get to see a little bit more
Yeah.
of that and some diversity.
I hope
with
so.
that.
I hope so. But yeah, so they get the weapons, they take them back to Ryloth, and they are like the Empire's onto them the entire time.
Yeah.
Like Hunter's already planted, not Hunter, but Crosshair's already planted a tracking device on them. So once they come back into the atmosphere, they know where they've been, they know where they're at. They bring them down and
Crosshair shoots them down with a sniper.
Shoots them down with the sniper.
Yep.
Dude, Crosshairs is on to this. So he brings them down. They go in. Then they bring in General Syndulla, and they're just like, "Hey, look, your kid's involved in this, and she's going to be executed." Pretty much is what they.
Yeah, because Crosshair's like, I'm tracking 3 bogeys up top. You want me to take care of them?
Yeah.
No, let them do their thing.
Yeah.
Which is, it's showing you the Empire's strategy
Yes.
that they knew that was going to happen the entire time.
Give them enough rope.
Give them enough rope, they're going to hang themselves, and they get to get rid of their senator in the process that they don't want. So now they get to take full control of that sector.
Yeah. Which I love the fact too in this episode when they have that moment that they are finally connecting, and the senator's like, "I told you he was a spy. I told you he was working against us." Dude, they take him out like no problem.
Crosshairs again.
Yeah, Crosshairs takes him out and then frames the General Syndulla and his people for it.
Yep.
Which is brilliant. That's the way you take care of your political enemy right there. You make it your enemy who took care of your enemy for you.
And then we see Chopper and Hera
Yep.
ride off into the sunset together.
Exactly.
So
And boom, close.
Yep. So that's where we're got to be a second part to this episode, right?
I hope so.
Yeah.
If not, they're going to have to revisit it later. Like
Yeah,
we're going to
definitely.
have some closure here.
Yeah, like I said, I'm hoping a little more Hera, Omega
Yeah.
tie in at some point.
Because they had that moment on the ship where they were talking, they were connecting over flying.
Which you could have where the general hires Sid to get his daughter off world.
He may. He
And here comes
absolutely.
Bad Batch.
Yep.
Which
there
will
it is.
also tie into here's Crosshairs.
Yep, exactly. I'm hoping. So I hope that this isn't the end. I hope that is not the end to this story.
Yep.
I hope we get more in the next episode or before the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, what would you rate this?
I'm probably going to get a 3.7.
3.7?
Yeah.
I'm going with 3.5. It was a good episode, had some great connection, but it wasn't one of those where if I missed it, I'm just like very upset about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Anything else you want to throw in there, man?
No, that's it.
Dude, all right. So, love this episode. All right, do us a favor. Like and subscribe.
Yep.
Leave a comment.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Yeah. All right, guys. We love you. See you soon.
Bye, guys.